Hello everybody, hope you're doing very, very well. And it's time to look at some more shirts. We've looked at England, we've looked at German home shirts. It's time to look at the Spanish home shirts. Now, like the German league, there are 3 tiers that we're going to be looking at, but the third tier is, I believe, broken up into 2 groups. So there'll be a few more teams and shirts here. However, similar to Germany, there are also sort of reserve teams for Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, etc. So I've just removed those duplicates. Usual disclaimers. Going to be some mad pronunciations coming out here. I'm not Spanish, and also these are just my opinions. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a bit of fun, mainly to look at some new shirts. So let's just dive straight into it with a team that I've actually never heard of before. It is Baracaldo CF, and it's their home shirt. And side note, this sort of thing annoys me. The season's begun, and this is the best image I can find of your latest and greatest home shirt. I understand if you've not got the greatest marketing sort of budget, but still, how hard is it to take a photograph? Anyway, rant over. It's a New Balance shirt, if you can tell, and there's right now no main sponsor. It's even if with a sponsor, it's a very plain design. So yeah, this is the reason why this one is at the bottom. Cordoba CF. Now this one, again, if it has a sponsor, it might look quite nice, but other than that, it's pretty simple. I'm quite satisfied with how the intersection between the white and the green stripe runs pretty much centrally through the crest. That's not bad, but it's more of an old school shirt. Then we have Real Murcia. This is just one of many Adidas shirts that are red and white. We saw quite a few of those in Germany, a few of those in England, and this one I feel like there's just maybe just a bit too much going on, extra sort of crests and sponsors going on there. But again, most of these shirts at the bottom of the list are just going to be average shirts. They're not necessarily bad, they're just not exciting. Like this one here is just, if someone's had a football shirt, this is the sort of thing that exists. Recreativo de Huelva, Adidas, blue and white stripes, got your sponsor on, jobs a good 'un. Ponferradina, blue and white stripes, sponsor in front, jobs a good 'un. Yeah, easy peasy. Amorieta, this is a Nike one. It's got that Nike template, which I think we saw somewhere in Germany, kind of forgotten. And I think there's another team coming up with this one also. It's fine. Lugo, this one, I don't know if it's because of the poor quality of the image, but it looks like it's got darker red stripes and then a lighter red sort of sleeves and maybe back and bottom. I'm not sure what that's all about. I'd have to see it in person, but I don't really think that's great. Gymnastic de Tarragona, this one I think would look better if it obviously has a sponsor, and it's a nice sponsor. I think this shirt would be good, sort of like Arsenal vibes. Granada, something about this that I don't know, but it doesn't. I don't like it. I don't know what it is. Again, maybe it's too much or something. The sponsor's just not. Yeah, I'm not vibing with that one. There's a blue and white shirt. This one is Hercules, which is always a team that I've been interested in grabbing just because I quite like the sort of the theme of the club going on there. UD Almeria with Castor. I don't know if they actually have a sponsor. They generally play without them. That's correct. But other than that, it's just a red and white one with sort of another thinner white stripe breaking it up. Talking of red and white stripes, Zamora. I have that mad circulatory Zamora shirt. They're with Macron now. Kind of would be expecting a little bit more from them, but no, nothing on this one. Racing Club de Ferrol, a club that I always kind of mix up with Celta Vigo, similar sort of crests. I don't know why I'm thinking this is like a goalkeeper shirt in my eyes. You don't see much green, and yeah, this is not jumping out at me. Ibiza, a lot of their shirts look very similar. I think the Ibiza shirt I have is not too dissimilar to this one. It's got a little bit of a pattern on the side. Fine. Fuenlabrada, this one is... I had to create this image because there was nothing online apart from a really zoomed in of pretty much the crest. So yeah, it's okay. Burgos, this one is just a white and black shirt. There's not necessarily nothing wrong with it. I quite like the black sponsor as well on the front. White and black shirt again. We got Albacete. This time, the only reason this one's a little bit higher is because one of the sort of Team Guy style bits is like a red, darker red. Okay. San Fernando, this is the other shirt with that particular sort of Nike template design. Just a bit of a lighter blue, and of course you've got a bit of white on the sides. Celta Vigo, I think they've done better. They can do better, especially Hummel, they generally can. And also it seems like quite a big insert there on the front of the collar there. Real Oviedo, just another pretty simple shirt. They've got their sort of weird rotated sponsor on the side there, which in fact is on my Real Oviedo shirt, but it's just average. Eldense, this is another Hummel shirt. I think in person the colours are quite dark, and I'm not usually a fan of that colour scheme, but the fact that it looks like it's gold throughout, that's a little positive. Algeciras, this is not Atletico Madrid. It's an interesting design. I don't think I've seen this. It's like many sashes that are progressively getting smaller, so it's okay. And we have Intercity. So this is a Hummel shirt. It's here because black and gold is always generally a colour scheme that looks good. Maybe if I could find a better image, it might stand out even more. Got little pinstripes going on there. It's fine. Sporting Gijon. Again, it's okay. I quite like the fact that the white sort of sweeps into the middle, but it's just still red and white stripes. Eibar, maybe one for Ajax fans. There's a bunch of X's that are running across here. Again, the image is not amazing, so it's tough to tell, but it's just a clean shirt. Real Union. This is one of those images where it looks actually quite good, but in reality, it's probably just another black and white shirt, but the golden trims work for me. Black and white again. Cartagena. This is another Macron shirt. Maybe with a sponsor on, it would look quite nice, but I think still, I don't know. It's average, middle of the road. And another Macron black and white shirt with Castellon. This is, I think, a better version of it because you've got a little bit more detailing with the collar going on there, a little bit more on the cuffs. And I think, again, with a sponsor, it would look quite cool. Elche, this one's just a nice shirt. I quite like there's a little bit of fading, it seems, on the centre panel there, that green one. And it all fits quite nicely together. So that one's decent. Andorra, I think this one is a carrying across from the season before. Of course, the team that comes from Andorra that plays in the Spanish league, because the Andorran league is quite small. So just rated highly because they're reusing it. Real Zaragoza. This one, it's actually quite nice. The pinstripes running through the sponsor always is a bit weird. You can see it sort of running between the A and the caravan, but I quite like how the club crest fits nicely between the lines, even though Adidas one looks like it doesn't. Villarreal home. This could be the home shirt from any of the last sort of 10 seasons, it seems, with Joma yellow. It's fine, but it's not exactly world stopping sort of thing. Also, I'm not really sure why a bit of the collar is missing. Deportivo Alaves. I think this is just a bit too much going on with this one. I can, they've tried a little bit something. The crests going in between the lines. I don't know. It's fine. Another team that I've never heard of before, Yeclano Deportivo, and another manufacturer I'm not familiar with. I presume it's Gobic. Is that the guy? People in the middle? It looks like a decent shirt, doesn't it? So yeah, just fair play to him. Real Sociedad with a Macron shirt. For most of the part, it's pretty simple, apart from the fact that you've got your little sort of stitching bits going on there, going across. But they'll just be sort of not actual sort of laces. They'll just be placed in there. So they've done better, and they can do better. Atletico Madrid, one of the bigger teams first. There's just something about this that I just don't like. I just don't like the fact that it's just too much. Red, white, and blue, and then I don't mind the fact that the pinstripe blue, and then red, and then blue, then red. That's cool, but there's a lot going on there. Not for me. Talking to another big team, we've got Barcelona. If you don't know, I'm not a huge fan of centralized logos, but what annoys me even more are logos that are not centralized and not offset. So they're just like, it's two there or there. Don't do. Not for me. And also, just it looks a bit weird. No. Similar colour scheme. I think this is the better version of doing it. There's not really anything on the shirt that stands out amazingly. It's just a cleaner version. So that's the reason why that one ranks a little bit higher. AD Mirda. This one is it's a terrible image. I presume in reality it's more just pure white and then black, but you've got the sort of the graphics inside, I presume screen printed into the material, which is quite cool. So that's the reason why it's quite high. And we have Deportivo La Coruña. just another simple, clean shirt. I know that it's a Kappa one, so it'll be well put together, well made. Everything fits nicely. Even the Estrella sponsors just fits, takes symmetrically even up. And then the sleeves are quite nice, so, it's fine. Al Corcon, this one, I think if you had a sponsor that actually fitted in the middle panel and didn't go overlap, I think this would be really nice in person. Again, the image is not perfect, so maybe it might be a lighter yellow, maybe it's slightly lighter blue. I like the pinstripes, but how it is broken up, don't see that often. Nice color detailing, so I think this one has potential. Girona, every time I look at this, I think, no, it's just too high. And then I look at it again and go, no, it's too low. They've done something different, clearly, but I think it just doesn't fit. The logos don't go in, and they're kind of overlapping, and they've had to place a sponsor. They give them points for trying, but execution not amazing. Rayo Vallecano, they always have this sort of interesting sort of zigzag lightning ball arrow pattern somewhere on here, so the home shirts don't look too dissimilar. This one, I think they've got a few more on it. But because it's kind of a unique sort of characteristic, I rate it pretty well. Mirandes, this one is just a nice, cool shirt. Many circles going on there, and there's sort of like a fade effect going across that almost like turns into a sash as well. So fair play. Cultural Leonessa, this is just because it's got that beautiful graphic of the stadium on the front there. Love it when the club has some element of the club itself, the fans, the stadium, the location, whatever it may be. And again, I think this one probably in real life, the image, it might be more white, and then looks like it's a bit of a grey. That one's quite cool. Athletic Club, this one's just a smart way of doing red and white shirts. Castor, it's got a little bit of detailing going on. But that's okay. Racing Santander, I like this. You don't see too much of the sort of the colour that just runs around the top and then it breaks up. I'm not familiar with the brand of this one. The sponsor looks quite cool. The sideways sponsor runs it a little bit, but that's it's not the worst shirt there is. Osasuna with Macron for the first time, I think now. I presume they've got sort of an embossed guy riding that horse, which is sort of presented across the front of the shirt there. It will be a nice one. So that's a decent start for them. RCD Mallorca, this one, I mean, in reality, I think it is just a template. I think, did even Freiburg have it last year? But there's something about the colours that just works. There's sort of the really dark black and the red there. So that's fair. Leganes, a team that I don't have, and this one I wouldn't be upset with. I wouldn't be upset with this. I think it's because it's got a bit of gold on, and then it has a little bit of green in there as well. All these small details, and it's blue and white, and you've got the gold in there. Yeah, I think that's a nice shirt. That is. Atletico Sanlúqueño. This one is, I love it when Macron do this. They always seem to put information on with regards to former players or members or fans or whatever it may be. This time they've gone for this interesting sort of almost like a bar graph style going across the bottom there, and then they've got I think it's a pretty typical template for them on the sleeves and the shoulders fading a little bit. I think that's quite good in a better image. I think that would be quite smart. Sevilla, I don't have a Sevilla shirt either yet, and I think this one, with a sponsor on the front, would look quite good as long as the sponsor's not terrible. You've clearly got a nice bit of detailing going on in the body of the shirt, and also these sort of interesting lines running around the collar and the cuffs. Then we have Getafe, which is, I don't know, just something I quite like this. It's just, I don't think there's necessarily any meaning behind the graphic of the shirt, but it's the trims I quite like. I think I quite like those yellow and green trims, and then also it runs around the collar, and then it has a sort of crossover collar as well. So, yeah, fair play to them. Real Madrid, it's one of the most recognisable shirts of any sports team in the world. I think they've had better versions of it. This one was pretty simple. I like the fact that the black is in the centre of the collar. I think Real Madrid, they're allowed to get away with it being pretty plain because they don't need to do anything else. It's Real Madrid. But they can do better than that. I think this is a better version of a white and black one. I had to look at this one a few times to really figure out where it would sit, but I think it's because of the gold trims of the Puma and the Valencia crest, and of course the sponsor on there. I think that's quite a smart shirt. Not necessarily one that I'd need want to go out and replace the one I have, but it's a smart shirt. Huesca, which is with Soka, and I don't know much about them. I think they've been with them for a few years now. This one looks pretty good though. It's like a good shirt design. It got a little bit of graphics and detailing inside the body of the shirt, and then the collar looks like it's a weird material, but I think it might just be the image. Espanyol, we start at the top 10, and I think maybe the sponsor is the reason why it's rated so highly for me, even though I hate being called Danny. I think that's maybe why I've ranked it. But it does look clean though. It's a nice shirt. It looks like a clean shirt, and you've got these little arrows, little upvote and downvote arrows. Unionistas de Salamanca. This one, their shirts they seem to follow the same sort of pattern. An interesting design. Araya, we know they do some good stuff. I think Classic Football Shirts have got a few of the season's older shirts, and I think they've been known to have shirts for a couple of seasons. But this was cool. I quite like this. There's definitely some thought gone into it. Real Betis. Okay then. I'm getting sort of throwback vibes in this one. Hummel seem to be quite good at that sort of thing. Ultimately, it's another striped one. It's green and white. They're pretty well known for that sort of thing, I'd say. When it comes to green and white shirts, there's maybe only Celtic that possibly are more known than that colour. Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say. Yeah, I think that's a decent one. Valladolid, another team that do great things, and especially now paired with Kappa, they're always going to do great things. I think the colour scheme certainly helps, at least personally I do. Purple is not quite pink, but it's close enough. Everything seems to fit quite nicely in the vertical stripes, the Kappa and the club crest, and then you've got the sort of detailing in the main body of it. That's a lovely shirt, that is. And then Tenerife, this one is, you know what? When I first saw it, I just sort of almost went, oh, okay then. But then you look at it and you go, but look how they've done. They've got the cross going across there, and then it kind of fades, and then you've got the line in the middle there, and the sponsor fits in there perfectly. And of course, it's just a representation of the crest itself. Got a nice little collar going on there. That's a cool shirt, that is. Definitely a cool shirt. In fourth, we have Adis Ceuta. I think that's maybe how you might pronounce that. This is a Macron shirt, but I'm getting Kappa vibes. It reminds me a little bit of the Vasco da Gama Kappa shirt that I have there. Apart from this one, of course, has a sponsor, even though technically it's just the place where the club is based. This one's nice. I like this shirt. I'd grab this one for sure. I'd definitely grab this one. Top 3. Malaga. It's very vibrant, and it's very Malaga-esque, because they seem to do that with a lot of their shirts for the last 4 or 5 years. They've definitely stood out. I think the only thing that stopped this one from being maybe sort of second or first is just this extra sponsor on the bottom, this all-in one that's on the side. It's just too much. You remove that, and I think you've got a really cool shirt. So yeah, slightly annoyed with that, but still nice. In second place, we have Las Palmas. Yes, beautiful yellow and blue. Another one of those shirts that I think people would be interested in based on sort of a vintage look. I think that's definitely what they're going for. You've got the design going on there. You've got a bit going on the shoulders. You've got that amazing collar. Yeah, that's a quality shirt, that is. That's definitely good. But who is number 1? Which team have I not mentioned yet? Well, I think you might do quite well to remember it, because, they are... I think they're in the top division. Or they're in the second division now. But it is Cadiz. Yes, it's not too dissimilar to Las Palmas shirt, and I'll be honest, I had to decide which one I'd go for. In reality, they're not too dissimilar. But it's the Macron, so I know that it's going to be good. Yellow and blue again, but this time you've got a little bit of white. Look at the trims, and this time you've got the detailing, but instead of it being on the top of the shoulders, it's on the arm. I think the sponsor looks quite good. It's almost like it's a sun. And yeah, it's just a quality shirt. I think there's something about yellow shirts right now that I really do appreciate. I have a few of them, but in fact I do have a Cadiz shirt as well, which I don't know if it's hung up or if it's in a box. But this one's cool. And again, it's got a little bit of vintage vibes going on there. So yeah, but that's it. That is the list of Spanish home shirts. I think I'm starting to realise that the home shirts are maybe not as exciting when it comes to just general designs from a collector's point of view compared to what the away and the third shirts will be. When we start looking at those, then I think it'll be fair to be really critical and also really sort of supportive of those designs. I think we'll do, obviously, Italy next, and then maybe we'll start going to the away shirts, where I think it'll start getting a little bit more interesting. Anyway, I have some shirts to start opening, starting to build up there. You might see some stuff in the background that looks maybe interesting. And I'm filming this. Ooh, I've just missed the beginning of the North London derby. So let's see who will win out of Arsenal and Spurs. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are with regards to these shirts. Any of these that you might be taking a fancy for your own personal use or collection. And yeah, did I rank them a bit too weird sometimes? Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, guys, have a great week ahead. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.